Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Let's Create Saturday. My name is Shel Anderson, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Today, we're going to be having a play with a standalone stamp set called Long Time No See, and this is one of the online exclusives. And this has the Dachshund dog and the llama with some stamps where you can make their necks and their bodies extra long if you so desire, and some cute little greetings. So we're going to have a play with that. Today, we're going to be using real red cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Basic white cardstock, 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside of the card, and 4 by 2.5 to stamp our image. We're going to be using garden green cardstock, 3.5 by 2, and 2 pieces of DSP, 5.5 by 2, and 5 by 1 3/4. So I'll leave that right here to the side so you can take a screenshot of that if you so desire. The paper that we're going to be using is called Christmas Tags and More. This is a 6 by 6 specialty paper that has all kinds of gorgeous patterns. I'll quickly just flip through so that you can see some of these patterns, as well as some punch out die cut pieces. So super fun. And in there's also there's one right there, some card fronts. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that camera and make you seasick. I was just excited about showing you that paper. All right, we will put that off. Oops, there's one of those die cuts. Put that off to the side. We're also going to be using some Stampin' Blend markers. All right, let's get started on our card. I have pre-stamped my dog, and I am going to color him using Stampin' Blends. And since this is going to be a Christmas card, I am choosing Christmas colors that will coordinate with, let me get it picked up here, coordinate with our DSP. And you can see that I have predominantly chosen reds and greens. So I am using dark real red for our first color, and I'm not being very fancy, let me tell you. I am just going to quickly fill this in because I know your time is valuable. You don't want to sit here all day watching me color these in. It's a gorgeous day here today in Winnipeg. I just got back. I went out for breakfast with a girlfriend, and it is absolutely beautiful. Now, you'll notice here that it's garden green. Well, we don't have garden green blends, so I am going to show you a trick. The first thing you're going to do is use dark lemon lime twist. So you're going to lay that color down first. And you can tell that's about as far from garden green as can be. But then you're going to take dark granny apple green and put over the top of that. And do you see what's happening? You got to make sure you get it all covered. But this is coming super close. And we'll just wait till that dries. And I'm just going to continue. Let's just do all of these. And then if we need to go back over with the granny apple, we will. We may need to do that. But you can layer your blends together to come up with different colors. All right, so we're done with that one. Let's bring this one in and saturate some of this with the dark granny apple. Now I know this isn't going to be absolutely perfect, but it is going to come mighty close. Much closer than either one of those greens were on its own. Just building that color. All right, now I need a brown. So let's go dark pecan pie. That's the color I'm going to choose for my dog. And I might do his ear in a light pecan pie. Just to add a little something, something. Oops, I almost went over that. Did you see that? Actually, I did, so I'm going to do it all the same. I got talking and not paying attention. Get this little paw down here. And then his tail. And we'll do his hind end. So have you guys figured out any other combinations of mixing colors for Stampin' Blends? If you have, please put it in the comments because the more info we share, the better it's going to be. Share our knowledge. There we go. There is our little dog. Put those blends to the side. Now I'm going to grab a pair of tiny scissors, and I mean tiny, and I'm going to fussy cut this little guy because I want him cut out. Now you see why I have these teeny tiny scissors so I can get in that area. And I'm leaving a little hint of white around him. I'm not cutting right on the line. I find that it looks better if you leave a little bit of white. We don't have dies for this set, which is a shame, but I suppose it's because we can extend their bodies that they decided not to make this one a bundle. But for the purpose of this card, we are just using the dog as it is. I find if I cut off the excess and not leave it attached, I can cut easier. This is not a very difficult image to cut out, so. Almost done. How's your Christmas cards going? Have you got your Christmas cards all done? I haven't, believe it or not. There we go. This little guy's tail cut out. If you hear noises in the background, it's not my stomach growling, it's my puppies. They're in here with me and they're playing in the background, having a little wrestling match. There's our little puppy. Isn't that cute? All right, let's get rid of that. And Now, we're going to bring in our card. I did not cut a piece for the inside, so let's do that now. There's 4. And I'm not going to do it with that, am I? I think this is still 5.5. I think I need 1/4 inch off here. Yep, I am correct. There we go. There's our inside panel. And I have this little strip that was left over from another card. I'm going to just put that on the inside so it's pretty in there. Too much coffee. I got the hippie shakes. Did you see that hand shaking? Woo! Like I said, I went out for breakfast this morning with my girlfriend, and we sat there yapping, and I had 3 cups of coffee, if you can believe that. Crazy. Isn't that pretty? Nice place to write our message. All right. Let's burnish this so it lays nice and flat. And now we have some DSP we're going to add to the front. And I'm going to put that flat on. Now, if you don't have this DSP, use what you have. I am sure that you have a bunch in your stash. You cannot tell me that you don't have DSP to make a card. And this doesn't have to be a Christmas card. It can be whatever you need it to be. It can be a birthday card. For example, this stamp set, the greetings are Happy Birthday, Merry Christmas, Long Time No See, Sorry I'm a Little Behind. So, super fun greetings. And I just chose this one because there was some crumb cake in the background. Let's go right about there. And I shouldn't have done that. Let's lift that up. My top and bottom were not anywhere close to being even. That looks a little better. All right. Now I have this little panel that I thought I'd put across and stand him on top. And I'm going to put a greeting in here. But I think we're going to heat emboss. What do you think about that? Let's put this way out of the way. And let me see if I can find everything I need. I need white embossing powder. I need a heat tool. I need an embossing buddy and a tray. Now, I wasn't very prepared. I did not plug in my heat tool. So bear with me just a minute. I have to reach in behind here to plug into this tower. Sorry about that. See if I can get it plugged in without upsetting the apple cart here. Nope, I upset the apple cart. Horrendous crash. Should have been prepared and done it before. There we go. We'll clean that mess up after. Okay, now back to where we started. Let's run this embossing buddy over our little tag. And that way we're not going to have anything stick that shouldn't be sticking. Now I need my Versamark ink. Versamark is a clear ink that stays wet longer than normal ink, which allows us time to get our embossing powder on there, and it's very sticky ink. So let's see what I can do. Merry Christmas. Just going to leave it there for a second and pull it off. And we're going to pop that in the tray and add our embossing powder. There we go. Now, let's put this off to the side, out of the way, and we will get this heat embossed. Take just a minute for this tool to heat up. Oh, there we go. The Mary didn't come out real great. Look at that. I can't say that I'm happy with that. So we're going to flip it over and we're going to try again. That already looks better than the first one. Oops, I'm making a hot mess. You didn't know you were going to get a comedy show too, did you? Let's see if I can emboss this one better. I want to get all our strays off. You notice that I forgot to do my embossing buddy on the back side. So there are a couple of little areas that had strays. That's a little better. It's not perfect. You know what? I'm not happy with that either. So, we're going to go to plan B. Let me get this powder back in the bottle. I don't know whether it's... Where's my brush? Somewhere in here I have a brush. Not the right one, but I'll use it. I'm wondering if it's my embossing powder. Let's try it one more time. I'm going to clean that stamp really well. Get this off here. It's stuck to my silicone mat here. Brush that all off. Okay, I'm going to clean this stamp super well on my Stampin' Scrub. Off camera here on the side. All right, I have a super clean stamp. Now I get another piece of green cardstock. There is the green cardstock. Now let's try this all again. Embossing Buddy. Let's start with that. All right. It looks good. Let's see what I can do. There we go. Now you're going to listen to my neighborhood dogs bark and my dogs answer because somebody's walking down the street, if you can believe that. They go, next door neighbor dogs go nuts when somebody walks down the street. Much better. I'm much happier with that. Okay. So, I'm just going to leave this stuff off to the side. And the die that I used was from the Everyday Details dies. So we're going to need to die cut this now. Just cut that off. Grab my mini. You know, sometimes the easiest cards turn out to be the hardest because of what happens while you are... I lost my tape now. What did I do with it? I have 2 packages of it. There it is. Just want this to stay in place while we run this through. Just like so. All right. There we go. Save that tape for next time. And that looks better. Much better. Not sure now what I did with the dies. There they are. Nope, that's not them. All right, I'll put it on my die holder for now. And we will bring our card back in. There is our greeting. There is our little guy. See how that Mary fits nicely under his belly? I think I'm going to pop these up. I am going to grab some dimensionals. Oh, we have a couple that are not, a couple of the little holes that are not poked out. All right. Get some of these guys on. Like so. And then take off all those paper backings. This hook tool for the Take Your Pick tool is the absolute best money I spent. I absolutely love it. All right, we're going to keep this down a little wee bit than we normally would. And then this guy is going to go on here. But I need some dimensionals under his head because his head is not going to be supported if I don't. So we'll pull those off. Then we'll add some Tombow to his body. So his body's going to get glued here. And his head is going to be supported there. His tail's just going to be free flowing. I've got all these little dots on here. Let's see if I can get those off. There we go. And there is that. Now, let's have a look at some ribbon. I have garden green and I have real red, but I think I want to use the garden green. Bring some more of the green in. Now, you'll notice that that green is not exact garden green, but it is getting closer. The more of this dark that we add, the closer we're getting. All right, let me pull off some of this. I don't know if I want a bow. Yeah, I think maybe I'll do a bow. That might be the answer. Let me grab my bow maker, and I am going to make a bow. With this garden green. There we go. Pop that off. Grab my ribbon scissors and trim those tails down. So that will go up there. And now we need some embellishments. And I have in my mind, I don't know what they're called. They're sparkly and they're garden green. Not those ones. Oh, there's garden green and the deer dots. Let's use those. Let's use those. Oops. So, I'm going to use a big one. Right there. And another big one. I think I'm going to use 3 big ones on this card. It can handle it. Not every card can, in my opinion. All right, now we need some glue dots. Oh, I have some paper pumpkin dots here. Let's use them. All right. Peel off the back. And I'm going to add one here. Oops. And one here. And once again, we'll peel off those backs. Maybe, if I can get it to stick to the ribbon. There we go. All right, so now we can place our ribbon where we want it, up there in the corner, and give it a press. And then we can add a dot to anchor our tails where we want them. So we put that there and tuck that down. See how that nicely that stays in place now? I'm going to shorten these tails a wee bit, or a little bit long for my liking. And there you have it. There, oops, there's a dot on there. Let's get that off. Now it's stuck under our dog. There we go. Little Merry Christmas dog, isn't that cute? And that is with the Long Time No See. Where did I put it? There it is. Long Time No See stamp set, which is one of the online exclusives, product number 166189. So I hope you enjoyed this impromptu little mini class, and I hope that you use the measurements that I gave you earlier. I'll pop those back on the screen so that you can use this layout on your card. I would love to see what you make. Yeah. Send me your cards, andersonshell@gmail.com. I'd love to see what you make with this layout. Thanks for stopping by. See you later.